Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So, feeling so stunning and brave this month. I'm going to do another video about Jeffree Star because I just feel like doing that today. He went on this podcast called Mum's Basement. I'm laughing because it's mum as in mom, but Britishness just intensified then. He went on this podcast called Mum's Basement, which is hosted by Keemstar and Face Banks, and Colossal is Crazy was on this one, or maybe Colossal is hosting with them. I don't know. I don't really keep up with that podcast, but Jeffree went on a podcast and decided to bring up the whole James Charles Tati saga that happened because that went so well for him last time, didn't it? Anyway, I thought we could listen to it and I'll do a little bit of shit talking.
But there's this other situation that happened recently with James Charles where when that whole thing went down, you put out some tweets saying that there's a reason why my boyfriend isn't letting James come over to our house anymore. I'm not going to talk to him. Haven't seen him since Toddy's birthday. He's a danger to society. And then you had a follow-up tweet where it was basically saying, everyone keeps asking me for receipts. I have much to say. What's going on with that? One thing, real quick. Is James Charles a danger to society? Is he a predator?
Keem. Listen.
That was a long pause.
Yes, that's right, Jeffree. Have a nice laugh. Laugh about that time that you and two other adults almost ruined a young boy's life.
Long ass fucking pause, though.
I have to ask this.
Listen. There's a long pause because it's a very complicated situation. So before I answer, the ending banks was me, James, and Tati all making peace so the internet can go back to being the internet because it was getting so ugly and dark. But
I wonder why it got so crazy and dark. Was it because you started having a go at James Charles's little brother and called James a predator and said he should be in prison?
It got crazy.
Yeah, so
I hopped in a little
so
bit.
people do want to put together the parallels of this 10-year situation and me saying this stuff about James. It's a very complicated question. And why?
I know, but it's the same scenario though, because if James is actually a danger, right? Then this is the opportunity, like the Darby thing, where you can say something. You know what I mean? Or is maybe you shouldn't have put that tweet out. Which one is it?
Conspiracy theory, put your tinfoil hat on. Do you reckon Jeffree is talking about the James Charles situation? Because he could have easily just said, I don't want to talk about that, let's move on to something else. So, he's encouraging this. He knows it's going to get a lot of attention. Do you reckon he's talking about the James Charles situation to take attention away from the Darby Vanity, his old tweets situation that's also going on right now?
I'm sorry, Jeffree, but I have to ask.
No, I'm 100% comfortable with that. It's going to upset a lot of people, but the truth is that someone, and right now I legally can't say who,
very convenient,
told us a few things. And we trusted that person's opinion. And then another person said some things that was friends with that man. And it really convinced us that he was a predator.
Is this another case of what happened before with the other guy?
No, this is
Is there a possibility of that? Because, they were telling you about this guy, which turned out to be true now.
A quick aside. Face Banks, I think, people on this channel who follow my channel know my opinion of him. I think he is just an odious little man. I'm snapping. Keemstar's just Keemstar. Colossal is crazy. Oliver, I really rate him. I think he's hilarious and smart and wonderful. Just a quick aside there. Just, me trying to get brownie points.
Is this possible with James?
From what I remember with all the drama, you didn't actually ever say flat out you saw it. It was always in the proper context of listen, I'm speaking about this from kind of the view of the circle of people that we've been discussing this with, kind of sort of thing. I don't think it's similar in the sense that
I hate listening to Banks talk. I can feel my brain cells dying. Moving on.
You flat out said, I saw some shit. You know what I mean?
Similar enough. I'm sorry. It's similar enough.
I'm lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's similar, but it's people that are in our community that are saying things, and I don't know if they're true or not.
If you don't know if they're true or not, maybe don't lead with, hey, James Charles, you're a predator and you should be in prison. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't perpetuate rumours. Just a thought experiment, really. And if you still don't know whether these rumours, these things you heard are true or not, you shouldn't be talking about them publicly like this, because there will be a small fraction of the audience, possibly younger, Jeffree stans, a small fraction of them who aren't going to have some critical thought and are going to think there's some validity to these statements because you're talking about it.
But this is exactly the same thing that happened before, right?
It's actually not.
What?
So if you want, we can pause and I can go in another room and play Banks what I have on my phone, and he can determine if he would have sent the same tweet.
I don't think it's the smartest thing to be saying that on a podcast. I have some evidence and it's on my phone, and hey, we can go listen. I know for legal reasons he wouldn't be able to, but he shouldn't even really be mentioning it on the podcast. Maybe after the podcast, I've got this thing on my phone, but you shouldn't be mentioning it publicly, because some people are just going to run with purely him saying that as James Charles definitely did something then. Do you know what I mean? The thing about old Jeff is he is a very calculated and manipulative man. He completely knows what he's doing by saying and doing all this. Hey, maybe it could be to do with the fact that James Charles has just had this instant influencer show with YouTube Originals, and that's just come out. Maybe he wants to start up a little bit of the shit stirring again. Who knows? He is that calculated of a person. That may sound a bit jaded of me, but when it comes to Jeffree Star, who hasn't really changed, is just better at hiding his real personality, I will not give him any sort of the benefit of the doubt, even though I like to try to be fair on this channel. But for me, when you and two other adults join up to try to ruin a 19-year-old guy's life, you don't deserve my benefit of the doubt, is what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to out a victim of James Charles.
And the way he said it just then, I'm not going to out a victim of James Charles. Like, what is it, Jeff? Do you believe that James actually did this? Because the word victim is pretty loaded in this context, because it's implying to me, listening to that, well, you believe that he is a predator. And if so, I don't know. I just think if you're not willing to show any evidence, it's very irresponsible of you to say someone is a victim of James Charles, or not even James Charles, just anyone. It's a very irresponsible thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah, we
It's real, because I don't know if it's real, and I'll go in the other room and play it for you.
These subjects to the
It's
subject
so
that we've been
because everyone wants to make me you ruined James Charles' career. No, Tati did and uploaded a 40-minute video about him, and she should have never uploaded that.
Yeah.
Really throwing Tati under the bus there. Yeah, she uploaded that video, but I wonder who behind the scenes egged her on.
That's why.
But she did. And for some reason, James thinks that me and Shane tried to ruin his life and orchestrated the whole thing. Like we fucking care.
I like how he's falling back on that old defense of like we care. I like how he's using Shade Dawson. I like how he's using Shane Dawson as a meat shield. Do you really think that Shane and I would do such a thing? The manipulation is so transparent. If you're aware of how manipulative these types of people are, then it's very, very transparent what he's doing. But Jeffree, if you didn't care, then you shouldn't have made those tweets and said that James Charles was a predator that should be in prison. It doesn't sound like the actions of someone who doesn't care to me. And wasn't it Shane who told Jeffree that James was slagging him off or something? I know, something very petty. You three were in it together, stirring the pot, egging each other on. Not all of us have 2-second memories,
You know Shane longer than me, Keem. You think we care to drag or ruin someone? For what? We're our own superstars. We're our own lane. We're doing our own thing together, and we've made so much magic.
See the way he is using Shane Dawson. You've known Shane for a long time, Keem. Do you think Shane would ever do that, and by proxy me? It's just pure deflection to be like, do you really think that we would do that? Haven't you, by your own admission, a few times said that the makeup world is crazy and people will do all sorts of mad things to ruin each other's careers? James was the biggest beauty channel at the time. Jeffree Star is absolutely petty and narcissistic enough to want to see someone else's career fail. 100%.
Toddy uploads the video and Shane Dawson immediately is like supporting Toddy, buying her vitamins.
The vitamins, the fucking vitamin. That's where I hopped in. Like, let me just quickly say, like, I still would love to know, and I'm going to ask you off the air. I would love to know how many vitamins she sold. I would love to know. It's crazy.
Yeah, and Shane helped her sell a lot of those vitamins.
Crazy. It's fucking crazy.
But
every time Banks speaks, I just want to stop doing this video. It's so crazy. Oh my god, shut up. I'm keeping that in, even though that's really fucking petty of me.
it really seemed like it was the three of you versus James, right? And then James defended himself, and then it seemed like you and Shane were still tight, but it doesn't seem like, you know, you guys are still tight with Toddy, right? So what happened?
I mean, look, I don't think we should be fake at all. We are currently not friends with Tati. Are we enemies? No, but we are not friends
What
anymore.
happened?
I love how he's like the spokesperson for Shane Dawson now. We aren't friends with her. We don't like her. She is not coming to our birthday party.
If I can ask
I mean, I think that she really thought, but see, here's the thing, Keem, you have to remember that everyone unfollowed James. Not just about my tweet. You think half of those celebrities, Kylie, all those people unfollowed him. It was like, wow, like we all finally can. And it was so dark and it was very, it was insane. And everyone hopped.
It was actually fucking insane.
Everyone.
It was insane.
So it wasn't.
Alyssa at the time unfollowed him just because she felt like she had to.
What a weak mindset the LA lot, the LA YouTuber scene really have. Sorry, but Alyssa unfollowing James because she felt she had to. Not that maybe she believed the allegations, but she just saw everyone else doing it and felt that she had to as well. Got a weird bandwagon effect. It's gross.
So it wasn't, me, Shane, and Tati against this person. Shane didn't ever really say anything. Yeah, I tweeted out a few things, and...
Yeah, I tweeted out a few things. They were pretty serious tweets though, bro. Let's not like downplay it, Jeff.
It was Tati's 40-minute video, but I get it. I'm more interesting. She's safe. And I think in some sick way, James thinks that me and Shane were behind it.
Well, in some sick way. I mean, like, a few adults really tried to come for a 19-year-old. Like, 3 adults in their 30s tried to go for a 19-year-old. But in your narrative, in your perspective, it's, but in some sick way, he thinks that we tried to orchestrate this. I couldn't possibly, think of why. I think anyone would rightfully be paranoid after something like that because it was done so publicly. So I don't know where you get off being like, in some sick way, he thinks this and that. Shut up, Jeff. Shut up, Jeff is the new shut up, Greg. And don't forget, during those tweets, he lied. He's banned my house. Nathan doesn't want him in our house. But then there was a tweet just a month or 2 ago being like to James Charles, yeah, come over. It's all good. We miss you. He's just a liar. And it would be, respectful is the wrong word. You would have a lot more integrity if you just admitted that you lied and exaggerated. You know, instead of all these YouTubers always going, yeah, this thing happened, but I grew as a person. It would actually show growth and character if you turned around and admitted, yeah, I fucked up and I lied or I exaggerated. Whatever. What's the point? What's the point? I should not have to be explaining that to a 33-year-old. You know what I mean? 34, whatever.
Shane was coming out with this documentary on the beauty community, right? Which I was really excited about, right? And all this James Charles Toddy stuff was totally going to be involved. And then it morphed in to your guys' collaboration on your makeup. So like what happens? There had to have been a falling out behind the scenes that stopped that documentary from happening the way it was originally supposed to be, you know?
Me and Shane really from the get-go wanted to show the business side about how to really create makeup.
Don't even get me started on that series that Shane did with Jeffree, the last one. Oh, abysmal. I wanted to make a video about it at the time, but I didn't have the inner strength to sit through it a second time to make notes and construct my video properly. But hey, now we're in lockdown, I might just do that. Let me know in the comments below if you want a video about, and no, it's an old series, but God, it was bloody awful. You know, they wanted to show the business side of making makeup, except not really. Not a lot of business happened. There was a lot of Shane just moaning about not being a millionaire. Besides the point, let's continue on this bloody podcast.
And people kept saying, we want more business. And that was always my goal, because no one really knows what I do all day. No one knows how to create a palette from scratch and how much money it can make and the magic behind makeup. So that was my number one goal. I used to love drama. I don't care anymore. And I never wanted it to be that. Like, it wasn't a soap opera, you know?
Again, more lying. You love drama. Most humans enjoy a little bit of drama. It's hardwired within us to enjoy gossip and drama. If you didn't enjoy drama, you wouldn't constantly be getting into drama. See, when drama happens to people, there are two ways to react to it. Either they can use it as a way to get publicity and further their career in a sense, in an infamous sense, or you can address it properly and get over it. Like, you know, when YouTubers get into drama and then they do an apology video, but the apology video consists of no explanation, just them saying, I did a bad thing, crying, always crying, maybe starting with a sigh. Sigh, crying, I did a bad thing, but I've grown and I've changed and I've matured and I'll never do that again. I'm so sorry, please forgive me. Just like self-flagellation. Flagellation. You know what I mean, flagellate. Whatever. Editing me, sort that out, put it on the screen. You can go down that route, which is self-serving and insincere, and just kind of puts more gasoline on the fire when you act like that in such a reactionary way. Or you could address the situation properly and explain your mindset at the time, how it made you feel, the series of events that happened, explain it all properly, and then show and actually tell how you've grown from it. And it's always obvious to see whether people actually grow from their mistakes or not. It is very apparent. Basically, Jeffree's always in drama, so, you know. I did a video about his inconsistencies just last week, in which I said that he snapped at a 10-year-old Kardashian kid. Come on.
And it's been a year, and I know people just want to keep going. They want to create a feud against me and James. There's no feud. I know everyone wants to create one over and over. There's no competition. I've been doing this for a very long time.
I'm so sorry.
Stop, Keith, you cannot
Jeffree,
try.
come on.
He loves it.
But can I just get this right? You do have a testimony from an alleged victim in your possession. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he does. That's what he said.
Right.
But listen,
I have competitive nature. I love it. Like, I love business. I love watching people's numbers. But like his fans really try to create always an animosity. Like, I've been doing this for so long. He gained more than you on you. I don't fucking care if you gain more on YouTube. That, like, to me, it isn't a numbers game because I already won. And
You just said you like looking at the numbers.
I know that people may say financially that they may not be winning, but to me, I won.
That's all that matters.
Shut up, Banks.
But yeah, I know it's fun and exciting, and the makeup world is really dark. When I entered the scene, I went through all of the top players, and most of them are all pieces of shit. They really are. They're awful. They're evil. They really only care about money.
He always does this. He always does some variation of this. Like, everyone else is a piece of shit. Not me, though. You can trust me. Good old Jeff. Like, it's so transparent. Just stop. If you walk through life thinking everyone else is the problem, maybe the problem is actually you. And I'm not saying that there aren't people in the makeup industry or any industry that are, like, aren't pieces of shit. Of course, there are quite a few humans are total piece of shit, but Jeffree always says stuff like this. And it's just to kind of manipulate his fan base into being all, you can trust me though. I'm the one that you can definitely trust.
They
Well, there's so
befriended
much
me.
money involved. I mean, that's gonna happen.
And
I
when
mean,
they
there's
get a taste and
ridiculous
they get
amount
the
of money,
Jeffree
yeah.
Star taste, and I help them out and I give them all my contacts and share all my love, and then they all get greedy, and you've seen it all. I went through them all, and they're all evil. They're backstabbing. They're conniving.
I think he's alluding to Manny, etc., etc. You can't in one breath be all, oh, people just want to keep creating drama between me and James and I'm over it. I don't like making drama. And then say this stuff, clearly alluding to Manny and the others. I don't fucking care. Manny, MUA and the others. It's so contradictory to do that. I don't like drama, but Manny is evil. They're evil. Look, I'm not saying that maybe they didn't backstab you. Evil though? Really? Serial killer level? Why do these people always exaggerate all the fucking time? It's so irritating. Again, I've said this about H3, but I'm not going to take you seriously if you use hyperbole all the bloody time. I'm under no obligation to take anything you say seriously when you talk in this manner. They're evil. Ugh, stop. Okay? And just if I get any comments being like, well, you don't know, they could be evil in real life. If they're evil in real life, then maybe Jeffree should do more about it than sitting on a podcast talking about it. Know what I mean? Whatever. None of this is real.
He does.
Shane
but
knows
the
what's
makeup
up.
world,
He
I
does.
love it so much, but it sucks that there isn't more real people.
More real people. Like Jeff. Good old Jeff. The only real YouTuber on the platform. Anyway, that is the end of that interview, and it is Jeffree stirring the pot. He could have easily just gone, I don't want to talk about this, not today. Let's move on and talk about something else. But no, that's not juicy. Maybe not a coincidence that James has his beauty YouTube show coming out at the moment. And then Jeffree, out of nowhere, just decides to bring up all this shit again. Anyway, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for my own validation. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.